Welcome to CMO School. So, if you know me, you know I have always been a big advocate for charging what you're worth. And even before starting my own business, becoming a fractional CMO, I was always advocating for my own salary, helping my friends learn how to negotiate and really figure out what they should be paid. But here's the thing. Some of the biggest opportunities in my career started as unpaid. So, when done really intentionally, I actually really believe that working for free can lead to massive payoffs. So, I have an example where I did something for free for someone and it led to a 6-figure client for me. So, in this episode, we're going to dig into when it actually makes sense to say yes to an unpaid opportunity, the questions I ask myself before deciding if I'm going to do something for free or not, and then a real story of how one free power hour turned into over $200,000 in revenue for me. So if you've ever wrestled with the question, should I do this for free? This episode is for you. Let's get into it. I want to set the scene and tell you where the inspiration for this episode came from. So I got an email recently that really made me think. It was from someone who turned down an opportunity to speak within my program, Fractional CMO School, because it was unpaid. And she said, I don't do any work for free. And honestly, I really respect that. She was really great about it. But it got me thinking because from my perspective, and the reason up until that point I hadn't paid any guest speakers was because often I'm bringing in either people who my fractional CMOs end up hiring with their clients, or the fractional CMOs end up hiring that person themselves, whether it's a coach or someone to support them in their business in some way, shape, or form. So from my perspective, it's this really great opportunity to connect with people who would be in your ideal buyer audience and get business out of it. So I have never had somebody push back, but it did make me think, have I ever said yes to something unpaid that turned into a massive win? When would I maybe push back? So I wanted to dig into that in this episode for you and talk about when should you work for free? When should you not? So let's talk about just the culture right now. We live in a culture, especially online, where charge your worth is all over the place. You will see that messaging everywhere. And I absolutely stand by it, 100%. Often I am the one saying, charge more, charge more. I have a fitness coach where I keep telling her, triple your rates, quadruple your rates. You are not charging enough. You are way below market standard and you are phenomenal. So I'm a huge advocate there. But I do want to point out that not all value when you're doing something shows up as a paycheck right away. Sometimes when you do something, you might not be compensated, but it'll open up a door for you, or it will start a relationship that is going to actually be massively beneficial for you, or get you into a room that you may otherwise not get into. I want to talk through how to know what to say yes to and the filters that I use when I'm trying to make these decisions. So I usually have about 5 questions that I ask myself when I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do something for free or not. I'm going to go through all of them with you. Number 1 is, does this opportunity put me in front of my dream audience? And I want to get specific here. So will this room, will this platform, will this project help me grow my reputation, my client base, my visibility? Is it going to somehow get me in front of people or a person who would be beneficial to me and my business? So that's number 1. Number 2 would be, could this lead to paid work or valuable relationships? So think beyond the direct sale. Does this open the door to bigger things or put you in proximity to key players? I'll just give you an example. There was a company a few years ago that really took off over COVID, and I was super excited about what they were doing. I knew they had marketing support, but I was just excited and passionate about their business and wanted to help them. But I also knew they weren't looking for any help. They felt like they were pretty set with their current marketing setup, and then they were growing fast. So they weren't in a position where they had a pain that they needed to solve. I thought to myself, what could be my way in? How do I get in and just open the conversation? So I offered to do something for free for them. And I'm still working with them today. 3 years later, they are one of my longest standing clients and they are so great to work with. I'll tell you one other example. So I am in a mastermind and there was a small segment of people from that mastermind that wanted to get together and talk about memberships and their common kind of challenges in their businesses because they were structured really similarly. I joined, supported where I could, and then for everybody who attended and shared about their business, I did a free mini marketing audit. So they got a thorough review. I spent about an hour kind of poking around and digging into their business, outside looking in, really looking at their positioning, their offers, their pricing, their marketing strategy, their channel mix, all of that, and giving them my super quick take on their marketing and the biggest opportunities I could see with this mini audit that I did. One of those clients turned into a over $200,000 client for me. So I think there's always something to be said about, is there opportunity here? Is there something I can do to open the door? And is there a low lift thing that I can do to show my expertise or really get myself in front of the right people? And that will open the door to something bigger. The third question I ask myself, and this is very important, do I actually want to do this? So I used to have a default of just saying yes to things. I loved being the helper. I loved feeling like somebody needed me. So if somebody came to me and asked me to do something, it was just an automatic yes. There was no pause and no consideration of, what does this feel like for me? Do I want to do this? Am I excited? Like energetically, does this light me up? Or am I saying yes to this because of all of those other things? Or is it guilt? Or is it scarcity? Or am I worried? Is it people pleasing? Am I worried about letting somebody down? So I get really honest with myself now and say, do I actually really want this? And for the right reason. The fourth thing I ask myself, is this aligned with my bigger strategy or goals? So does this move me closer to my goals, or is it a distraction masked as an opportunity? When you're building your business, and especially once you start getting some traction, opportunities will come your way. It's easy to say yes to everything. The tough thing is that you need to know when you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to something else. Everything you're taking on, everything you're putting on your plate is taking up space and meaning that there's no room for other things. It's important to just be very intentional about having a clear vision and goals and understanding, will this actually move me closer, or is this just a distraction? So I have been wanting to work on my speaking skills for the last few years and get more comfortable on camera, get more comfortable speaking to audiences. So anytime I have ever had an opportunity to be on a stage, on a podcast, I'm saying yes. There's been podcasts that have come my way that have no listeners, maybe weird branding. They might not necessarily feel aligned at first glance, but I don't think I've said no to one ask, because my bigger goal was to get the reps in, get as many reps in as I can so that I could become a better speaker quickly. And it's massively helped me just saying yes to those things. And it has helped me move closer towards my goals. If you had asked me 3-4 years ago when I started this business, if I would have my own podcast, if I would be comfortable hopping on my camera on social media and talking on video, absolutely not. I was absolutely fearful about both of those things. And I remember saying to my mindset coach, I wish I was that kind of person. I wish I was the person who would be comfortable to have a podcast, would be comfortable speaking on video. And I'm just not. I was so limited in my beliefs. And it's in pushing myself out of my comfort zone and taking on these opportunities that have reshaped how I see myself and gotten me closer towards these goals. So that's been such a good meter for me to use against if something makes sense for me to do for free. And then the last question is, would I regret saying no? So sometimes your intuition already knows. I think there's so much room in business for feminine energy and leading and really asking our nervous system what feels right for us. And there might be things where on paper, it doesn't make sense for you to do the thing, but you just have this gut instinct that it is the right thing for you to do. And so this is a really important question to ask yourself as well. Would I regret saying no to this? How does this feel to my body is it a hell yes? Because you don't want to be left with the what ifs. And again, it might not make sense right out the gate, but maybe it's the stepping stone and something you can't see beyond that is going to come out of you doing this one thing for free. So I want to walk through a few things that you could consider doing for free as a fractional CMO, just to give you an idea of what might be things that would be free versus maybe not. There's been instances that I have done power hours. That has been massively helpful for me. I've gotten lots of clients out of doing a free power hour, really just digging into their biggest marketing challenges, one or multiple, and spending time with them for an hour and walking them through what I see as far as opportunities in their business. The other thing would be a mini marketing audit. I already mentioned earlier the client that I got from doing that. Hugely impactful, took a little more time than a power hour, but it's nice because I was able to be a little bit more thoughtful. Depends too how your brain works. I am definitely the kind of person who likes and prefers to marinate on information, get all the details, go away and sit with it and let those shower thoughts and those walk thoughts come. Because I find when I have the space to think strategically and be creative, that's when I can put together the most powerful strategies. Other things would be speaking opportunities. So whether that's in programs, on podcasts, at events, all great opportunities as long as they fit the filter of the questions we just asked. And then sometimes advising or being on a board. So again, depending what space you're working in, your client niche, you may get some startups saying, hey, can you do this for equity or can you do this for XYZ for free? And there's a lot of that I don't love, but I do think there are certain circumstances where being on a board or being an advisor to a company is really beneficial for you. So again, maybe you're trying to get more experience, maybe you're trying to get reps in, maybe it's helping you build relationship with a broader organization that will bring other business or leads to you. So really assessing against those questions. But those are just some examples of things I have either done for free or considered doing for free. So hopefully that helps you. So to close out the episode, looping all the way back to the person who emailed me and inspired this episode, I 100% acknowledge their boundaries around not doing this particular speaking opportunity for free. They were very professional. We had a great conversation about it. And I really appreciated their stance. It also made me reconsider how I'm approaching bringing speakers into my program. On the flip side, I hope that this episode offers another perspective and one where you can look at a free opportunity potentially as something that could be a stepping stone when it's fitting all of the right criteria for you. And when there's a little bit of a long game play or it's a little bit strategic. So it's not about saying yes all the time or no all the time, but having filters that you can use that are unique to you to help you evaluate opportunities that come your way and make sure you're asking the right questions and filtering opportunities through your own strategy, your own values, your own goals. And knowing that you're not always undervaluing yourself if you're strategically saying yes. You might actually be playing the long game. You might be doing something that will massively, exponentially blow up for you. So it can be a super smart move in the right circumstances. So if you're building a fractional CMO business and you don't want to waste years figuring it out the hard way, Fractional CMO School is open for enrollment and we'll give you the step-by-step roadmap that I used to build my business to 6 figures in 6 months and then $1 million per year with a small team of 2. There's expert coaching, one-on-one support, and whether you are an aspiring fractional CMO or you're growing, you're trying to figure out how to scale your team or do the role in a way that doesn't lead to burnout, it is a great fit for you. And you can learn more at thecmooffice.com. If you love this episode today, here is what I would love from you. Take 30 seconds to rate and review the show. It helps more marketers and CMOs find this content. Hit follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're going to implement any of this or you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out in my DMs on Instagram. I would love to support you. And thank you for listening. I will see you next week.